Hi, Tammy Davis. Thank you so much for joining me. And I want to welcome you to this talk on the delivery technology and digestion. Now, you already are probably familiar with, if you're not, that I am by all rights an aromatherapist, but that's just not by self-declaration. I do have an international certification to work with essential oils, and that'll play into this video. At the same time, I have an extensive background in nutrition and digestion, which is really where I see my level of expertise turning out to be, because through my work and research and application, I'm really finding out. I mean, we already realize that digestion, how we break our foods down, is important. But the bottom line is that the health conditions that we face today are basically the misuse of nutrients in the body. And while we do have a lot of products available to us that hasten the uptake of information, if you will, vitamins, minerals, phytonutrients, and such, it's also in the body care products. I mean, it's called delivery technology. Some people call it nanotechnology. It's just, it really depends on who it is and what they're using. Other times they're considered emulsifiers, chemical emulsifiers that break these things down so that the body can readily absorb it. And I do understand why we would be doing this, because if it looks like the body is not getting what it needs, why not bypass the system that's not working? And there's a lot of people out there talking about digestive health and promoting certain foods or probiotics, or, we have this understanding that digestion is obviously important. But what I'm proposing here is that we're missing the mark. Now, we recognize that the stomach and the bowels, and more often than not, the liver, is a part of this. Sorry, I've got hair blowing and it's tickling me. That's the primary system. Keep in mind, the mouth is the beginning of it all, because you produce saliva that releases enzymes and that begins the breakdown process, okay? So this is the essential part. Now, if this doesn't occur properly, we no longer get the macronutrients broken down. Therefore, the body is not getting the proper chemical messengers, signaling molecules, aka hormones, that tells the cells what micronutrients they require. So it's kind of like going into the kitchen and baking something and substituting your ingredients, such as baking powder for baking soda and other ingredients, and then coming out with an entirely different end result. This is what's actually happening in the system. And I know this sounds like an oversimplification, but it really is what it's boiled down to. And what I've come to determine is through our exposure to the environment, okay, the world that we live in, the level of technology that we are exposed to on a daily basis. I'm not just talking about air pollution and water pollution, and I'm talking about it all. I'm talking about the heavy-duty bacteria and viruses that we're being exposed to on a regular basis, even though you're not sick, really. With any serious infection, you're still being exposed to these things. And this is not the video to alarm you. I'm just trying to raise awareness to actually demonstrate how hard your body is working in your favor. And so there's a lot of stuff that we're exposed to. Additives in our food, also considered technology. Then delivery technology. I mean, they've already used the word technology, nanotechnology. All of this is geared towards, I guess when I say is controlling the body. And while there's good intention behind it, it is actually detrimental to the system. Now, some people will go out and say, and they try to point fingers at everything and say, hey, look, these are the reason why our digestive system is failing. Some people want to blame medications and vaccinations and GMOs, and this video is not any of that. What I'm saying is that we are not recovering from this level of technology. Every chemical acts like a chemical messenger. It's a signaling molecule at some level. It is telling the body what to do. If it is to take up if it is to increase the use of nutrients or the assimilation of nutrients, that's a form of technology. If you're taking medications and they are being designed to target very specific genetic receptors as well as liver enzymes, it is now affecting the way the body is working. And the way the body's designed to function is it turns various genes off and on to regulate itself in order to accommodate the messages coming in. This is called adaptation. Long-term adaptation leads to long-term challenges because you're not using the nutrients the right way. And what ultimately happens, the way to sum all of that up, is it's called cellular stress. And at the cell level, the body is being redirected. I want you to understand, in my world, this stress that I'm talking about is a protection mechanism. It is not a bad thing, okay? So this is where we need to reframe everything, because it's not a bad thing. It is a protection mechanism. It may look like it's going south. That's only because the body isn't recovering. Then you have people who don't get to sleep very well, and then you have people who don't get to relax. Okay, so now you have the amplification of stress, okay? And now you have more of a mental, emotional, and physical stress, okay? All of that does is exacerbate this cellular stress. And what do I mean by all of this? Well, the truth is like I said, when we're under stress, and I've talked about this before, but when the body is actually stressed, whether we're running from a rabid dog or chasing down our kids so they don't get hit by a car, or getting that terrifying phone call, or panicked because we realized that we didn't get something done that needed to get done today. Okay, all of those things, the body cannot distinguish between life-threatening and just emotionally taxing. It just registers stress, and therefore the system is redirected. That's what it is. Chronic long-term redirection means chronic long-term breakdown. Pardon me. So what does that mean, when we say redirection? Well, every chemical that the brain produces, whether it be a neurotransmitter or a hormone, and typically a lot of the neurotransmitters are used throughout the body for other reasons, which then renders them a hormone. So the chemical messengers that the brain produces is not just used in the brain. They're used for every function in the system. They are signaling molecules. And so if the body is redirecting its energy, redirecting the chemistry for survival, guess what's not happening? You're not breaking your foods down. Okay, now you have a problem in the digestive system. Any degree of digestive enzyme or probiotic is not going to rectify that problem. It's not going to relieve the stress problem or the cellular stress. This is where essential oils come in. This is where deliberate relaxation techniques come in, helping yourself get to sleep. And this is the reason why I made the video a couple days ago on insomnia, because what happens in our culture is that if something's not working, we throw something else into the mix, okay? That makes sense and to a certain degree, but just think about it. If you throw fuel on the fire, sometimes the fire goes, okay? So consider that you're doing things already. Could be medications, could be supplements. These things are already affecting the way the body takes things in, okay? Now you add essential oils into the mix. Your essential oils could potentially exacerbate. And the reason I'm saying that is because, guys, essential oils are also signaling molecules. They are going to encourage the body to take up nutrients. But if you're already using body care products and nutraceuticals or supplements on a regular basis that have this built into it, and you're including essential oils into it, your cells are going to explode and you're going to have things backfire on you. So this is why I say less is more. This is why it's important to regulate. Now, if you're dealing with a chronic health condition, a little bit more at the beginning, a therapeutic boost may be the ticket. But here again, having someone watch your back, having someone to check in with and say, hey, look, this is what's going on, so that they can help you regulate the use is essential. Otherwise, you could be overdoing it. Why? Because you're emotionally attached to the outcome. There's nothing wrong with that. Actually, having a second set of eyes and ears to mindfully guide you to maybe back off of some of these things, maybe stop using some of the oils. Again, I've been an aromatherapist for almost 30 years. So I have a great deal of respect for the oils. At the same time, there's a time and place for them. And if you're going to be taking a lot of supplementation, then using oils may not be the answer for you at this time. If you're willing to step back and use less and begin to incorporate oils, you can do that. There's a lot of oils that are good for the digestive system. Which ones I recommend really depends on your body. This is where I'm happy to guide you. And I'm actually, like I said on my other ones, I've started a Patreon page where I'm providing exclusive videos only available to Patreon members that actually begins to go into one single essential oil at a time. It is a comprehensive aromatherapy course that'll take, I don't know, however long we get through the oils, but it's one at a time. I'm going to be doing it in a video, and I'm going to cover aspects of an oil that's not covered anywhere else. And so how to use a particular essential oil for your digestion really depends on what's going on with you. But aside from all of that, you have to know that essential oils are signaling molecules. And so they are going to influence the way the body uses micronutrients. And until you can actually get the system redirected to where there's a relief at the cell level, you're going to still struggle with breaking down your macronutrients. And those are the ones we have to focus on. So sometimes, in my professional opinion, it would be to back off your supplements, understanding what medications you're taking, and so as to create balance with oils. Now, here I'm going to emphasize oils. If you're willing and able to back off as many supplements as possible while you're on medications and use the oils to balance the medications, you're going to be encouraging the relief of that self-stress, and then you can begin to reintroduce certain things. That's what I'm getting at. That, it's not like I'm saying throw them away. I'm saying they're still there, and just you don't need to take as much right now, and maybe just give your body a break. I've got somebody who's currently living with very low platelet levels. And she's, but her platelet count value is extraordinarily high. And so that's indicative of a bone marrow problem. And she's scared, understandably so. But when she first came to me, she was taking over 50 supplements. And somebody might say, well, that's a great thing to be doing because, she's sick. But it wasn't helping her. So we backed her off of all of those things, introduced a few things that we know are beneficial to the bone marrow and the hormonal system, because bone marrow is considered adipose tissue, which is part of the hormonal system. And we're helping her that way. But 50 supplements, I couldn't start her on oils and all of that. So at any rate, I just want to say that, she didn't have to throw them away, and she's taking a couple here and there, but she's got plenty at this point, and we're trying to strengthen her system and not overwhelm it any further. So the delivery technology that's being built into our products is understandable. And at the same time, if you're including oils, and that's the reason for this video, is I know there's a lot of people using essential oils or wanting to use essential oils, or like I said, and using them and finding that they're not working well and finding problems with them and bad reactions. And this is the reason for that, because like I said, you've got body care products, you've got supplements, and if you're taking any kind of medication, those three things alone are going to alter the way the body is using this information. And to include oils in that just only enhances the uptake, and it could be way too much for your system, especially for your cells. So let me know if you have any questions. Visit my Patreon page. The link is down below in the description box. I'm happy to answer more specific questions for you. This is exciting times in our area of wellness. It is health simplified. It's also keeping it very personalized, and it's learning to work with the whole system, meaning everything that you currently are doing, but maybe just not as intensely. Okay, let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for joining me, and have a great day. Bye now.